What's going on, everybody? Here for a little bit of a PSA. Due to the responsibilities in the background, it's been fun doing every week releases, doing movie releases, doing podcast releases. There's talk of keeping it that way, but right now it's a little overwhelming on the back end, and you guys have not seen my back end.
I have. Unless you've seen Unemployed, then you've seen it.
And
no comment.
There's 2 back ends in there. I play 2 characters. My back end.
You do, actually. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah. Due to the time restraints and everything, we're going to be changing things up a little bit. So initially we started off doing episodes, well, whenever we could. We were trying to keep on a schedule going way back from 000s, the 0 points, the negative numbers before we got into our groove. But now we're going to be doing things similar to that. Right now we're releasing things every week, and we're going to do it every other week. You're still going to get the movie reviews. You're still going to get the main podcast, but
just spread out over time.
Yeah. You guys like it all spread out, so that's how we like to give it to you. Spread out.
We just got so much going on here in our world. We've got the podcast. We've got the movies that we're doing for Shorty Films. And we will be moving into a new permanent office studio space here in the next couple weeks. And once we do that, we will have time to do a little bit more stuff. But right now, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. Justin edits these podcasts, and that seems to be like all he works on a lot.
Right.
So for the time being, we want to still, we're going to go back to the every other week.
It'll serve 2, 3, 4-fold. Right now, I feel like, we are in our groove, but I feel certain things are a little stale sometimes, and we don't want to, half-ass it for you guys. We want to give a little bit more quality to things. We want to make it more of a something to tune into, a presentation, the entertainment that you guys are searching for to get away from the hardships of the real world.
Plus, I've honestly heard this from some of our listeners that it's hard to keep up when we release things weekly.
Oh, yeah. Especially the large amounts, too. There's also been talk about maybe even keeping it every week, but just breaking down our long episodes. That way you can still dish out. As Jeremy was saying, a lot of the stuff falls on my shoulders with on the back end, but it doesn't give me any creative time for the quality that I want to give back to you guys. And also, since we have recently locked down a studio, we are going to be utilizing that with the Shorty Films, with other endeavors, just revamping our whole creativity process.
We're trying not to overflow our plate is kind of what we're saying, because Shorty Films is kind of my thing that I take charge of and kind of creative, and Boundless PodTrap is kind of on the editing backside of things, is Justin's baby, that he will be taking care of things. So the studio space is going to be very helpful for us, but we want to get cozy there and settled in before we start to maybe go back to a weekly release of episodes.
Yeah, if you guys have any comments or concerns or things that you would prefer, do you like the lengths of our podcast? We could probably cut things down a bit. For the most part, we are just going to keep things how it is. We're still going to do the movie reviews. We do enjoy that. Fans seem to enjoy that. Bringing people on to suggest their picks or even come on as guests. It gets a lot of talk, I guess, around.
Yeah, I just think that you had kind of said it, but I feel stepping back and listening and looking at the big picture and what we've been putting out lately. Not saying it's bad, but it's definitely gotten a little stale compared to when we first started, and I think that's due to being overwhelmed with things. And so being able to cut this down to every other week again definitely help with that. Like we said, we'll do the regular podcast 1 week. 2 weeks later, we'll do a movie review podcast. 2 weeks after that, regular podcast, and so on. So once things start to feel like they're handled and whatnot, again, we could go back to a weekly thing, but we want to focus more on the content and quality of it right now. And I think that cutting back a little bit will help with that.
Unless you just want to do every day.
I wish we could, man.
5 minutes podcasts every single day.
It's weird. I listen to some podcasts and it's like I look at them and they're like 8 minutes long, 7 minutes long.
I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't even try.
How is that even? You said a word.
All right.
That's it.
2 minutes was the intro, 2 minutes was the outro, and you got something in between.
Regardless, we do have episode 28 is going to be a fun one.
I hope so.
You'll have to tune into that one to see something that a little different with that one.
Yeah. He's got us meeting up at a different location, so we'll see what's up with that.
Oh, yeah. As you notice, there's a third voice that's missing from this. That's Lonnie. He's at home recovering still from his surgery that he had. Those that listen understand that a few weeks ago, Lonnie spent a little too much time out in the sun fishing on a white boat, and he got third or almost fourth degree burns on his top of his feet from the sun. And he
they classified it as like burn trauma or something.
Yeah. So he had to actually get skin grafts from his thigh.
He does have
onto his feet.
He does have bitch skin. So
yeah. So he's definitely in recovery. He's at home. He's doing well. He's in some discomfort. So he unfortunately could not make it out to the studio right now. So, and he lives like 2 hours away now from us. And to be in that much pain and make him drive all the way out here would be kind of silly.
For this, 5 minutes or so?
Yes. So he knows, he's aware of all the changes that'll be going on. And this will kind of help benefit him too, so he's not making the 2 hour drive out here all the time, just once a month.
Is it 2 hours? How slow is he going?
I don't know. If it's where I think it is, I don't think it's 2 hours, but...
Yeah, we're going to call him on his shit right now.
We call him
it's funner. It's funner to do it in person.
It is. So, yeah, these changes, they're good. I know cutting back on things to some people, that's a bad thing, but I think for overall quality, this is going to be a good call for us right now.
We do have some things lined up. We have more deep dives we want to get into, and I think it's going to be beneficial for the listeners to see how far down the rabbit hole we can go.
My opinion, I want to have less games, less lists about ourselves, and more...
Did you say gangs?
Games.
But that's what we need. We need a villain. We need a competing podcast or something like that. We're looking at other local podcasts in the area. You want to step up to us, mofo?
Jeez. You know what else we're looking for? And we will be having audition casting calls for it. We're looking for a full-time female co-host to join the Boundless PodTrap so we can get the female perspective on things. So
if somebody who identifies as female on all realms, can we go that far?
I mean, yeah. Why not?
I got a guy. Or a female. I should call him her.
Well, we're going to put the casting call. We're not going to just settle for anybody. I mean, they're going to have to meet. They're going to have to someone audition for us. And we got to get that vibe from them that they would fit in well here. But I think that's something that we're almost to 30 episodes. I think it's about time we bring on a female co-host that can give us, like I said, that female perspective on things that has been missing from this podcast. Even though Lonnie is very close to being feminine with his ways, but
he crosses his legs when he speaks.
He does, and then his gross feet touch my knee.
But anyways, stay tuned for episode 28 in the Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, okay. Urethra Franklin.
What is the word I'm looking for? It's not urethra, but that's the word that comes up. Ether. In the ether. No?
No.
You want me to cut this?
I don't even know what you're trying to say at this point, like most times.
Like something's in there. I go too deep sometimes.
Too deep? Yeah. It sounds like you're having a freaking meltdown. He's having a stroke.
Yeah. But, yeah, again, stay tuned. Thank you guys, and thank you for the support, your listenership. Check out all of our socials. You don't even have to say that. Since Lonnie's not here, Zazzle.com.
For all your merchandise needs.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.